Hey all, welcome to A Fistful of Dice. My name is Matt, and this is another episode of For a Few Dice More, wherein we talk gaming and I update you on what's going on in my gaming life. So, it's been a while since I made one of these, but things are going good. In terms of gaming, I'm involved in 2 campaigns right now, one of which is The Winds of Sir Celine on Barker's channel, Be a Better Game Master. And the second campaign just kicked off last month. It is as yet untitled, but it is a campaign set in the Dragon Grin campaign setting, which is the campaign setting of Tim and James over at Tabletop Terrors. Tim is DMing that one, and it has been an absolute blast so far. We've only done one session. We're going to do our second session later this month in August. That campaign has been a blast. It's very different from anything that I've played before. Dragon Grin is a very dark and grim, sort of bleak fantasy setting where evil has triumphed over good, and the common people just sort of live under this regime that is comfortable yet undeniably evil. And we play characters who are trying to break out from under this regime and essentially make something of ourselves and revenge ourselves against this regime that has attempted to kill us, that has captured us, that has mistreated us. The first session is called Crux, and you can watch it right now on the Tabletop Terrors channel. I definitely recommend it. It's a great game. What else have I been up to? Well, we're getting geared up here to do the second campaign of the Provokers. The first campaign ended just before summer sort of kicked off here, and we decided to take the summer off, recharge, refresh, and essentially just come at it from a different angle. And me especially, I needed to step away from it a little bit, just because I've been so immersed in Aeronoth, whether it be running the campaign there, writing supplements for Absolute Tabletop that are set in Aeronoth, things like that. So I just needed a little break. But I am super excited to get back to it. And I think we're going to try and kick that off in September, October, somewhere in there in the early months of autumn, and which is like prime time for gaming, by the way. I love autumn. And we'll have some news on that coming soon, some details on who the characters might be, who the players might be, and what the campaign may entail in terms of story and things like that. So we're planning on doing a session 0 in August. That will not be broadcasted, but I may record bits of it and share it here and there. But sooner rather than later, you will hear some news on the second Provokers campaign, which I'm very excited about. Let's see, what else have I been up to aside from meticulously growing out my hair and beard for the coming Viking apocalypse? I've been currently obsessed with this RPG called Torchbearer, which has been out for a while. It was kick-started, and it uses a variation of the Burning Wheel system, which Mouse Guard also uses. Mouse Guard is a really cool RPG. Torchbearer is kind of in between Burning Wheel and Mouse Guard in terms of like rules depth and crunchiness. Basic idea behind Torchbearer is that it's sort of a love letter to classic D&D, to those old dungeon crawls of decades past. It is focused on inventory management, light sources, and the debilitating conditions that would arise from spending any amount of time in a dungeon, let alone hours and days at a time. Now, that might sound boring or bookkeepy to you, but it does it in such a way where the roleplay aspect of the game and the idea of inventory management and light sources and things like that they really go hand in hand. It is a integral part of the game. It's not like there's the game and then there's the inventory aspect that you kind of just ignore or fudge. No, the game is partly inventory management, deciding what you're going to carry. You can only carry so much. And the inventory system is so brilliantly done. It's not based on weight, it's not based on encumbrance, it's based on slots. You know, you have a certain number of slots on your torso, on your head, on your feet. You get a certain number of extra slots from a backpack or a satchel, and you can sort of, you know, put different things in there. And so you really have to decide, do I want to bring this rope, or do I want to bring extra rations? Do I want to leave room for the loot that I find in the dungeon? Do I want to leave my weapon behind so I can carry this other weapon that I found? Things like that. The book is absolutely gorgeous. The art is great, kind of old school art. And I've just really been enjoying reading through it. It's the first RPG book in probably a year that I've just sat down and read, just over the course of a couple days, just like cover to cover. So I've been devouring that lately, and I think it's the system that seems ripe for running like over play by post, which I haven't done in many, many years, but I'm considering maybe doing a play by post campaign of Torchbearer with all the extra time that I have, you know. What else has been going on? Well, Absolute Tabletop is going really well. We've been hard at work on print on demand books, so physical books, actual hard copies of books, soft cover, full color art inside, just really gorgeous products. You can actually pick up the Convocation right now on absolutetabletop.com. It is available in hard copy, so you can go and pick up your very own copy of the Convocation, have it sitting on your bookshelf, which I think is really cool. So definitely go and check that out. I think the other big thing that I've been sort of engrossed in is Harbinger. And Harbinger is a sci-fi fantasy setting and rule set that we've been working on using the 5th edition Open Gaming License as a base. So the Open Gaming License allows publishers to use the 5th edition framework, 5th edition mechanics to build their own material, which of course we've been doing for almost a year now with Absolute Tabletop. But this is something bigger. It's a whole new setting, a whole new rule set. You know, we're taking the idea of how magic and how character progression works, and we're doing it a little bit differently. But we're doing it in such a way that if you're familiar with 5th edition, you can pick up Harbinger and play it within minutes. You will instantly feel at home. It'll be familiar yet new to you. If you want to know more about Harbinger, the setting, or some of our thoughts on it, you can check out tabletopterrors.com. We did a special episode of Damage Reduction when Barker and James were around, where we talked about Harbinger, some of our ideas for it, some of the basic sort of pillars of that setting and rule set, if you will. Right now, I'm working on classes for Harbinger. 3 classes, to be precise. There will be more classes than that in the rule set, but we're wanting to get a play test out here sooner rather than later. Potentially looking at before the end of the year for a play test. So the 3 classes that I'm focusing on, there's one that is very magic based. There's one that is based around tech, using tech, building different devices, specializing in interfacing with both human and alien technology. And the third one is my favorite. It is a class that is based around exploration, tracking, hunting, navigating the void of space and the strange moons that orbit this world where Harbinger takes place. I'm really excited about this system. The guys are all working on it with me over at Absolute Tabletop, and we've come up with some pretty cool ideas that I think you guys are really going to dig. So there'll be more of that to come, I'm sure. I think that about does it, guys. Be sure and keep an eye out for more videos from me. I'm going to be working on some more Telltale trinkets here and kicking off the Provokers campaign too in the next couple months. So, as always, everyone take care and happy gaming all.